Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 257 of Kouryer podcast. Yes, it's been a long time since I last recorded an episode, but here we go again. And our today's guest is Mr. Victor Salas. He's an illustrator and visual development artist from São Paulo, Brazil. And of course, as always, if you go into the for contact section of the captions, you can find the ID to his Instagram account, the link to his Linktree and art session, and also a Gumroad link to the Doe. I hope I pronounced that right. Like an illustrated the storybook that he made. And we're going to talk about that in the podcast as well. And with that being said, how are we doing today?
Hello, thank you for having me today. It's my first time
Awesome.
participating in a podcast, so if I feel a bit nervous,
Nah, man, it's fine. You're doing well. And all right, so let's start from the beginning. Like, give us a little introduction on how we got into the world of visual arts and design. Basically, tell us your origin story. If you know what led you to enter this path and journey of becoming an artist.
I think like everyone else, I just loved drawing as a kid. I think I never stopped drawing, so it just was a natural path that ended up happening with me. I feel like most of my my journey as an artist, I started like drawing as a hobby. I love to draw dinosaurs and cars and kinds of things. And I planned when I was like 15 years old, when you're trying to get in a career for your life. Like, what are you gonna do in college? Or what are you gonna do for a profession? And I was thinking if I could be a car designer. uh, I thought it was the only possibility to work in illustration. Back in the day, I thought we could be either a working comics, uh, drawing comics for superheroes, or I could be a car designer, which was something I was really into. So it's it's a bit hard to this career of car designing. I thought, well, maybe I could do like the new design for the new Volkswagen Golf or something. Uh, but I thought it was a difficult career to follow. It was not much. You couldn't find too much jobs around the car designing. So I forgot about this idea. And when I went to college, I graduated in publicity, propaganda, advertising, this kind of stuff. But in the middle of the course, I starting to realize it wasn't really what I was looking for. It was not. I was too stressful. I think this kind of jobs of advertising have the deadlines are too narrow. You have to work overtime all the time. So I started thinking about drawing again. I think it would be a viable option as a career. So I started studying. It was around in 2017, I think. And a friend of mine gave me one of these tablets, and you can draw. It was a genius one. It was like the pen, you have to use a battery for it to work. It was silver, which is so mid 2000 looking. Like, it was so weird. But it was my first step when I started drawing digitally, especially with the work I do now. And then I started studying. I didn't know you could study drawing. I didn't know if it was something that you could practice more and have fundamentals you could study. So I started doing a lot of studies and drawings and learning the basics of drawing. And then I got my first freelance work. I was in 2018. Yes, 2018. When I got my first freelance job, I was uploading my drawings in on one station and DeviantArt and those social media platforms. And a guy from Singapore emailed me and said, "Hey, can you work for us on a tabletop game I'm working on?" It was about ancient China, and I did some illustrations for that game. And it was my first job, and then ever since I've been doing this, and it's been working, which is surprising. But I'm happy now that I can do what I like, and it's paying the bills.
That's awesome, man. And well, from what I've gathered from what you said is you mostly do illustrations, and I was wondering, once you realize that all right, that art could be like like a viable career option, what led you to actually get into illustration rather than like I don't know like concept art or other stuff like that, and tell us what's made you be interested in illustration and also how's the journey been thus far in the industry.
um, well, can you repeat that again? Just I missed
Sure,
it.
sure, sure. Out of all like the options and positions available right now in the industry, there's concept art, there's visual dev, illustrator, which of course that's what you are right now, or just many other positions there are. What made you choose illustration?
Oh yeah. Oh, it was something that I think was a natural thing. I started drawing what I like. I love to do environments now, and character is not my strong suit. I never draw too much characters in general. So I started doing illustrations for that, and was nothing much that I'm somebody that saw my work just contacted me and said, "Hi, can you work with us?" And I like your style. I like the way you paint environments or cars and animals or anything. So it was just a natural thing. I could work for concept art and character design in the future. Just have to be train more about being practice more these types of different illustrations. And so far, I mean, it's still the freelance work. I have been freelancer all the since I started, and I mean sometimes you don't have much of a guarantee of work coming every time for you. So you have to be looking around for new jobs every time. You have to be emailing people, and sometimes someone emails you and asks for something, a job, and that's the only thing that I think it's the most difficult thing, that you don't have at the end of the month you don't have a fixed amount of money that you will make. So that's the only part that I feel it's the hardest. But overall, the work that I've been doing has been quite satisfying. I've been doing a lot of works for board games and tabletop games, and it's not something that I chose to do exactly. It's just like a niche of the market that found me, and they started looking for me for this kind of jobs. But it's something I enjoyed. It's really fun, the works I've done for board games, and I've been finding it very nice.
All right. And the next question is, how does your design process usually go anytime you want to start working on a new project? Like basically, what does the structure of a pipeline look like when it comes to making new pieces?
Okay, sometimes first I have to look a lot for references. I think I have even a problem that I look too much for references. I spend too much time, and I when I have like a folder full of images that I can feel inspired by, I started making my drawings. Sometimes I have different processes, but sometimes I prefer to work when I work digitally. I work directly painting with shapes without the line art, and sometimes I do when something more precise, and you have to be uh, when you have a design that has to be more precise. I start with the line art first, then I paint on top, and it's basically just paint. I don't have much quirky painting techniques. It's just about after the drawing is done, I just started painting on top and until it's finished. There's not much uh, weird stuff that I do about that. But for my personal projects specifically, it's just the same thing. And usually it works. So I'll keep doing that. So until until it no longer works, or I find something else that it's more uh, that works best for the job, or for to be more quick, depending on what I'm doing.
All right. And who are some of your favorite artists and designers that have inspired you the most?
I think my visual artist that I really like is Half McQuire. He's illustrator from the Star Wars movies. So he designed a lot of the the places of the universe of Star Wars. The Tatooine, Bespin, and those kinds of planets, and many of the characters too are the spaceships. Is from his designs and his drawings and sketches. So Darth Vader is a design that he created, C-3PO and R2 and the X-Wing, and all these designs that I find it so cohesive, and they have always a sense of scale, and I don't know, it's just something magical. I can't explain exactly. It's just something I find very beautiful about the designs that looks naturalistic. It's not too fancy work. It's just his gouache paintings that he used to make for the movies and for the designs. And it's simple enough, and at the same time, they're beautiful.
All right. And now here's the thing. What is the main subject of your artworks and what made them interesting to you? But regarding to this question, I have like another question, which I can, link this both questions together, which is about the digital art we made. Is it by the correct pronunciation, the dough?
Yes, it's the
All right.
DAO. The DAO. You can.
DAO, or sorry.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. Of course, in the Gumroad descriptions, like, you wrote and mentioned by purchasing this book, you will contribute to the NGO Desengarrafando an awesome social project of ecological education, cultural
Yes.
and arts in São Paulo, Brazil. So could you talk us about that? And, like basically tell us the story of the DAO for us, and, just the whole inspirations, what started it, and, by the way, for anyone who's listening, if anyone wants to support our today's guests of the podcast, you can go and purchase it. It's available in both English and Portuguese. So their links are down in the description. You can check it out and go ahead.
All right. I think. I mean, the idea for creating the DAO was mostly simple. I just wanted to create a series of illustrations. I think I have, and most artists have this habit of making very much a lot of illustrations that works on its own, but they're never a part of a bigger cohesive theme, And I was trying to make like I like to sometimes compare it to an album record when you're recording it, as you you're recording music, and you have like the LP or the a record that you have all the musics and the songs. They have like a theme, and they all are compiled into a record. And I tried to make something like that. I But the idea was to make it doable. Uh, I tried to make it very simple, just simple stories, simple characters, nothing too much complicated. Which is something I do a lot. I tend to complicate my the paintings I do. I always always overthinking the things that I have to do into my paintings. That I always zooming in and painting like little details. And to make it doable, I try to make it very simple, like a very simple story, and let's try to a very simple style too. So I can just make a lot of these paintings, and then after that I can compile them into a one single story. And the idea was just I was looking for images online. I have the habit, like I said, I look a lot for references, and I found randomly a picture of a kid in the sea. He was at the beach, and there was next to him there was this boat. It's called a dhow, right? It's like a a wooden boat that has this triangular sail. And I started, well, this looks nice. I would like to paint something like that. And I started looking for more pictures, and I started learning about how the mechanics of this boat works. Like I was overthinking again, but I started to think that I just could do something like that. Just it is a simple idea that I could make into a book. And then I started in it, like the whole process of beginning the DAO and finishing it. It took about 1 year when I started. I was at the time I was doing a course, an illustration course by Mike Azevedo. He's an illustrator in Brazil, and he teaches a lot of these illustration classes, and is inspiration for many of artists in Brazil. And it was one of the assignments of this course to let's create a big illustration. You have to design your own characters. You have to write a little story. And I had this idea already in my mind, so I just tried to make the assignment of the course to try to be the kickoff for my personal illustration. So I started designing the characters. Like I said, I tried to be the most simple as I could. And after the course ended, I continued working on the project. And it's difficult sometimes, because sometimes you're just tired of doing the same thing over and over. I made like 26, 25 illustrations of the same subject. And sometimes you get a bit tired, but I think it's part of the process if you keep going, and if you want to make a nice illustration that you feel like it's important to you, then you have to keep going. And at the same time, I had it was like a difficult time, because it was during the pandemic. I was seeing a lot of it was hard to keep up with the bad news all the time, and you're insecure about about what is going to be about the future. You care about the people around you, and sometimes you're afraid that maybe they get sick, and what you're gonna do about that. And it was like after that, the DAO for me, like working on the DAO was like my a place where I could be and forget about these problems, and I could be more in peace without worrying about what was going on. And it was nice. I mean, uh, the way like you feel like you could be transported to a different. You could forget about what's going on and just be in the moment painting. And it was like the most when you feel like you're having fun. It's difficult to explain, but it was like one of the ways for me to escape the problems of the real world, and I could work on something that I was really into.
All right. And assuming that project is of course finished and it's on sale, by the way, on Gumroad, what are you working on? A new projects right now, or you're just doing the usual freelance gigs?
Right now, I have freelance work, but I have also projects that I've been working for a long time as well, and I intend to. I mean, right now they are on hold. They're a bit to my drawer right here because they're more complicated than the DAO. Like I just wanted for the DAO, I just wanted a project that I could just finish and just publish, and it was very simple. But I have others that I've been studying actually and reading books to make a nice story. And but for now, I don't have anything to show. I just have like a script. But I feel like the personal projects are the things that I feel most engaged to do, more than the freelance stuff. So whenever I feel like I want to draw something just for fun and to be feel the pleasure of painting and drawing, I go back to the projects that I already have here, and I try to make something that's meaningful to me especially. But if somebody also likes it, then it's just a bonus.
Awesome. And now here's the thing. This question is kind of tricky. It's called time capsule, and this is actually, surprisingly, the final question of the podcast. I usually wrap up the podcast with this question and section. Yeah.
Right.
Basically, the next couple of minutes, you are free to say anything you want to anyone who might listen to this podcast at any point of time in the future, like as a time capsule. So basically, what I would ask you is, throughout your life till this point, what are some of the most important lessons you've learned and the most valuable lessons you've learned that you can tell to anyone who might listen to this podcast?
Oh, that's a tricky question. Well, I just think that for me, what I've learned especially is just you have to do what you like. If you like painting, whatever you like to paint, you should do it. I think there will always be someone that if you're looking for work, there will be always someone it's there for you and can offer you a job. But I think if you have something to say, like just something you want to get out of your chest, if you're feeling, you could go to your paintings or your pencils or your brushes, and you can paint something that you find that is important to you. And for the DAO, it was just something that I wanted to do, just to create like a story that I started from beginning to end. And it's when I find the most fun. And I think everybody should do something like that. I think if you have a personal project, you have a character that you created a long time ago when you were a kid, maybe you should go back to that and try to develop something out of it that has a lot, that has something meaningful to you, and should express it. That's just it.
All right, awesome. So find an outlet and try to express yourself. That's pretty good
Yes.
advice, if you ask
Mhm.
me. And with that being said, thank you so much for coming on for this episode of the podcast, episode 257. Where can people contact you if they had any questions? Is your Instagram account okay?
Okay, so I think all my accounts in my social media are
Yeah, in the
V
description. Yeah.
Sales, V Sales V. But I'll show you. You can find me there. I post some in between months. I not very active. Sometimes I just post something and disappear for the next month or so. But I'm always there, and you can follow me there. And if you can check the DAO in the description. It's just a simple story. It's like a PDF book. I plan to maybe publish it in a physical form in the future. But for now, you can just check it out. It's just a simple story that I wanted to show, and that's it.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much again, and thank you to
you
anyone
for
who tuned
having
in and
me.
listened. And my pleasure. Thank you to anyone who tuned in and listened. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if there's any comments or suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. And with that being said, take care, everyone. Peace. Bye-bye.
Bye.